Welcome everybody to Rad Pod and Chill. And if you feel like you're having a deja vu, it's because you're having a deja vu. We are so happy to be with you here tonight. This is our weekly recap of our episodes. And I just wanted to say that I think episode 36 with Jason Van Tatenhove, former Oath Keeper, was a really important episode. So if you haven't seen it, please watch it. We'll be talking a little bit about that tonight. And before we get into the news and some of the lulls, I'd like all of our friends, we have a beautiful devoted community of patrons. I'd like all of our friends to send prayers and good wishes and great vibrations to our friend Eileen. She has been one of my most beautiful, profound supporters. And she's going through some health stuff, as we do in this great information war. And she's really going through it right now. And so please send her a lot of love, a lot of good vibes. And we take care of our own in this community. And that's what's so beautiful. Thanks, guys. And I want to start this show by talking about despair. Despair is continually for sale, and it's really cranked up in moments of really incredible achievements in this fight for truth. And truth, as everybody knows, is the mistress of time, and truth does prevail ultimately, and we are in a battle for it. And a lot of incredible things have been happening on the legal front, and they are immediately snatched away from the collective consciousness and the collective psyche by the flood of despair and the flood of shit. So what I do is I write my way out of it. We all have different ways of dealing with it. Jim is one of the great warriors for truth. Hi-Fi is always pushing the news and letting us know what's really happening under the headlines. Find out whatever it is that you are good at if you haven't already, and practice that self-care. But I literally found myself momentarily disabled this week, and then I just wrote my way out. I thought about Giuliani having to testify, and I thought about all of these goons that they're finally going after, and I realized it had actually been a good week.
It has been a good week.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm loving it. We're watching Giuliani fall apart. We're watching Trump have a meltdown. However, here's what you have to understand about Trump having his meltdowns is he is especially dangerous when he knows that they're onto him. When the noose is tightening around his neck is when he becomes possibly his most dangerous. He's going to do everything to incite.
Yes, he will. I still maintain that Trump is not actually nearly the most dangerous person right now.
Oh, no, not at all. I'm not saying he's the most dangerous. I'm just saying he is most dangerous.
But what I'm seeing is, yes, a shitload of good news, that there are actually steps being taken. I mean, holy shit, they did FBI, like, I don't give a shit what you say. It was a raid on his fucking house, in Florida. That's a big, big deal. And it means that they have all kinds of shit, and they're bringing up espionage for a reason. They're not going to put that in the search warrant unless they have him on espionage, right?
Right.
So all that is fantastic. At the same time, it is accelerating the timeline.
Yes.
For a lot of these guys, right?
Yes.
Because their game, people like Flynn, has been to stretch it out, to obfuscate his own role, to fucking build troll farms to attack anyone who talks about him at all. He is a master at covering up for himself, at infiltrating the organizations he wants. That's why the FBI is a target right now. Because if the FBI and the DOJ are not functional, then he doesn't have accountability for what he's done, and the same for all of his collaborators. So to me, there's a great set of signs that there is a fight about to be waged.
Yes.
But this is about to be a fight, and the fight is going to be physical, and it is also going to be very, very, very focused on trying to destroy in any way possible the 2022 elections. That is the plan.
We've been warning
constitutional
about that.
Sheriffs.
A few about 6 days ago, when the news was breaking fast and furious about what was happening in Florida and Mar-a-Lago, I did tweet out that Putin is going to do something absolutely terrible, because that's what he does. So of course everybody now is in complete and total distress that he might plan a nuclear maneuver, trying to pin it on Ukraine, and people are saying tomorrow. And whether that's true or not, I don't know. I can't predict the future, but I do know that all of this that we are dealing with is cover for corruption. All of it. Mafia level, mafia state corruption. So when you are dealing with sociopaths who have absolutely, no proper human empathy and hearts, anything is possible. But what I want to tell everybody, whatever is going to happen, just if we can stay calm and we can stay focused on the truth and focused on headlines like this: former CIA director warns GOP is the most dangerous and contemptible political force on earth. Now that's a headline, right? That's a headline that I needed to see, because we are still continually in this bizarro land where the GOP is treated as if it is still a partner party to the Democrats in America. And I need the former CIA director to say the GOP is the most dangerous and contemptible political force on earth, because that's right. That's what we're doing.
Well, it is, but it is not. Also, I think that is frankly the deep state talking. This is not a political force. It is an insurgency. It is a political force in the same way that the Confederacy was a political force, right? It's a political force that is not there to do politics. It is not there to figure out what the will of the people is. It is there to cause chaos in the project of dismantling the will of the people. That's right. That is there's a difference, and I want to make sure that I think it's great. Don't get me wrong. That
it's important for my soul.
It's great.
Important for my soul.
That is great. For us here, I don't see it as politics anymore. I think we've moved past that. To that point, as you said, a lot of this is cover for the transnational, organized crime. And I agree with that. I think we have now, however, gotten to the boss level, which is what is the real purpose of all of that transnational criminality, right? There really is a set of people who weaponize all of that crime and in the project of actually changing the geopolitical future of the human race, right? There is a battle right now between keeping the idea of liberal democracy as a concept anywhere in the world versus people who want to turn us into some version of the Borg or the Fourth Reich or whatever the fuck metaphor you want to call it.
Yeah, right.
They want to suppress individuals into being part of a machine, because the people who are doing this are the people running the machine. So it's all fine with them.
Well, I do think it's important in the article I'm referring to where the former Financial Times editor says he's covered extremism and violent ideologies around the world, and he's never come across a force more nihilistic, dangerous, and contemptible than
100%.
today's Republicans. And so I think,
Couldn't agree more.
I think if we don't use this kind of framing or something close to it and what you're talking about, we will continue to be in this mind-fucked warp where the media is still reporting and parroting this party, and we're going to continually have a percentage of the population which is going to be trapped into thinking or watching norms escalate into the abnormal and looking at that as some sort of new normal. And this is not a new normal. This is old corruption. This is old corruption.
It is the one of the scariest things that I saw recently. I posted this was Flynn is now explicitly going after the rule of law.
Mm-hmm.
Like now that's the target, right? That actually all this shit, the rule of law, none of it matters if they disagree with what we do. In this case, it was fascinating because it was release the affidavit, otherwise no one's going to trust the rule of law. And then hold on, and then the judge called this fucking bluff.
Yeah, and he's like, okay,
later.
All right. And I am mind blown because the legal precedent of releasing an affidavit before trial during an ongoing investigation, absolutely mind blowing. This is not something that occurs.
But
right?
but I think it's actually great. And here's
why.
it
is. It's a brilliant play.
Because
like,
there's nobody's going to find out anything. They're going to leave just enough words to be like, this criminal motherfucker did all this crazy shit and black. It was going to be like, sorry, bro. Sources and methods. You understand how that works, right? Remember how you were ragging on Hillary for using email?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, it puts him in a very, very tough spot, and I like the fact that they are actually taking the information provided to the public in actual account. That's different. That's good.
Dear Department of Justice, if you're listening, please redact everything but the words Trump, Russian asset. And just put that out there.
It'd be like
or whoever's whatever
is left.
Whoever's in charge of
autocrat's willing to pick up the tab. For anybody just tuning in, we do a weekly show, investigative show about disinformation. I'm a lifer investigative reporter. We've got technologist High Fidelity, and we have disinformation sleuth and veteran ARG dude, Jim. And I like people to know and have a framework for what it is we do, simply because, I know that our narrative is getting out despite efforts to try to discredit us, which are always ongoing. And I couldn't be more pleased. I want to say one thing here. Ruth Ben-Ghiat, who's been my mentor for many, many months now, I think it's always really important to look back at the 2016 archives and see what was going on. And she reminds us that over 100 national security experts were among the first Republicans to warn America about Trump. They published an open letter back in March of 2016, citing his dishonesty and admiration for foreign dictators such as Putin, and as president, he would make America less safe. Well, what have we learned? We know a lot. We know that America has been less safe. We know we've had a judicial coup. We know we have an organization, the Trump org, which is rife with corruption. We have his lead guy now pleading out and testifying against the organization, Alan Weisselberg. We have a family that is so dishonest that they're not allowed to be involved with any nonprofits in the state of New York. And I could go on and on and on and on. But I think it's always important when we are dealing with the flood of shit to always look at those archives and get rooted firmly in reality. Just plant our feet firmly on the ground and say, this is the truth. These are facts. Here's the court cases. And it's just escalated, as Jim said, to the very top of this pyramid.
Yeah, I mean, 26, this is all just a mirror. It's the same shit as 2016 all over again, right? It's the same people with the same money doing the same shit. They're just better at it now. And it's just extremely frustrating that 6 years later, you know,
I don't know.
no one out there is willing to actually talk about the root of this. We still get led around by the nose by, propagandists. People can't just say what's in front of their fucking face, which is that we got a giant Russia problem. We got a giant fifth column in the United States. We got a giant brainwashing problem. We have, Telegram with hundreds of millions of fucking people getting exposed to literal Kremlin propaganda all day long. Just Kremlin propaganda. It's not. It is uncut Kremlin propaganda everywhere.
We need a troll extermination. We have to.
Well, yes, it's interesting.
Sorry, go ahead, Heidi.
It's interesting you bring that up. It's interesting you bring that up because that is something I wanted to talk about. In a information war, there are no rear areas. So anybody who's pushing out truth that goes against the narrative of the flood of shit and lies is a target. And as we know, it's very inexpensive to hire the subversion operators. They're cheap. And I've been studying the scale of the troll economy. And it is a massive part of the global economy is all I can say. We've been trying to quantify it. We talked a little bit about it on this show, but anybody who is running and has the guts to run for political office right now, who will upset whoever is backing whatever the status quo may be in a certain area, is mercilessly under troll fire, mercilessly. And it's made to look like it's organic to the community, but it is fuck well not. And I'm seeing it in real time. And I know that truth will prevail, but truth needs to pick up the pace a bit because this is becoming something that is dividing our country from the community levels on up through state and federal. And it is a massive problem.
I mean, there's one advantage of what's happening now, which is, a lot of these people who've been trying to ride this middle ground, who, like somebody was mentioning that a bunch of these leftist, anarchist fucking podcasters have moved over to doing tradcasts on fucking, Christo-fascist, hardcore right-wing content because they were always fucking right-wing. They were just doing a LARP. And, and these particular people happened to get caught. And so they just went to work for the other fucking side as they always have. And I think as the lies that have been put out there for years get exposed, and they are getting exposed already.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, a lot of the people who've been intentionally confusing the narrative are going to
Yeah.
have to make a choice to either fess the fuck up or just go work for the team that they really work for. Just no one in
I want to
particular
talk
I have
about
in
that.
mind. I'm just saying, I think there's going to be some LARPs that are going to have to, you know, unlarp themselves.
It wouldn't be anybody who happened to lie to a committee, would it?
I'm not going to talk about any individuals.
So I do want to talk about. I'm glad you brought that up because we have a number of things that we need to deal with and need to address on that subject. We interviewed the former publicist of the Oath Keeper this week, and Jason Van Tatenhof, and I have become friends. Like, we have art in common, music in common, and you know, I've really enjoyed communicating with him. And he said he got paid more being a publicist for the Oath Keepers than he ever made as a writer. And we may all recoil in horror, but you know, to admit that is an important bit of intel, because writers aren't getting paid, and if you're a writer, you want to get paid, right? So he got out. He's carved his own way. He's making his own way, but we have to look at the economy of it, and we have to think about what are we offering people, and what can we do better, so we have fewer people enticed by the low-hanging fruit of being propagandists, disinformation people. Not everybody, you know, probably has the same opportunities that you know, people have. And so, you know, like if you're in the Philippines and you're trying to feed a family and you get to sign up for a marketing company, and really what your job is to be part of an astroturfing team trying to, you know, discredit a politician here in California, which we've seen actually happens. We have to do better, and we have ways to do better. Our government could do better. We did this in the New Deal. You know, we talked about that on Sunday. We funded writers, we funded playwrights, we gave them opportunity. So what are we going to do? Just, you know, let everybody go to work for the bad guys? You know, what are we doing? We have to have these conversations.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely going to have some unemployed propagandists if we if we don't. I mean, we need to have some unemployed propagandists.
Yeah, right.
So, you know,
right.
any of them we can pull over to, you know, the same side of the curtain, you know, would be fantastic. But I think the first thing we you know, there's a couple things that have to happen. First, Putin has to get fucking defeated.
Yes,
because he's still got control of, you know, a ridiculous amount of the natural resources that is used by that entire region. And, you know, he cannot be completely ignored. And he's got a fuck ton of money buried in every country in the world.
Yeah, they've laundered their money.
And the amounts of money that he has to spend are relatively trivial. And he's got people who are compromised. Every single person, all of the people doing this are compromised.
Right.
They know they've been working for the wrong team, and they know that they have to win, or they're going to have to go to jail or completely reinvent everything in their entire life, and it's terrifying, right?
Oh, well, it's an all or nothing.
So you're seeing I'll finish second. You're seeing a desperation right now, I think, from a bunch of people, both the, you know, the kind of cult itself as well as the other cult that protects it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
When they started engaging in this endeavor, and I'm not just talking about the QAnon people, I'm talking about the Silicon Valley people, right? I'm talking about the politicians globally who have been co-opted by this thing. This is an all or nothing proposition. They either win or they are destroyed. I would say damn near permanently. I mean, the GOP is a hollow shell of something it hasn't been since Eisenhower. You know, that's the last time they had a decent platform. Now they're religious extremist cultists who will do anything in their power to take over.
So, thank you, as we talk about disemboweling this non-party, I want to just here's a great example of a headline from today. Alan Weisselberg, top Trump executive, pleads guilty in tax scheme. Okay, so back to the bean counters, right? So, but
Yep.
here's what's interesting. Alan Weisselberg, Trump's most trusted lieutenant, stood before a judge in Lower Manhattan courtroom on Thursday and admitted that he had conspired with the former president's company to commit numerous crimes. This headline alone, like what, 30, 40 years ago, that would have been it to bury someone, right? Right? This is just
Yeah.
this is just another in one of 12 different things that happened in recent weeks between, Jeff Clark in his underwear and Eastman's phone and, Giuliani subpoenas and losing his law license. And clearly we have a very focused, investigation going at the top levels at this point. And yet, because we are in this 24-hour news cycle, this headline probably didn't even make it to, above the fold in any of the major newspapers. If it did, it'll be gone by tomorrow.
Call me when Mike Flynn and Eric Prince are in handcuffs in a cell and Crimea is under Zelensky's rule and Ukraine again.
Put Jim in the big box.
Putting Jim in the big box.
Sorry, I just wanted to point this out. The enormous fucking blind spot, right?
Yes.
It's crazy. Like they're and the reason for it is very sad. The reason for it is that the press has been getting fucking psyoped about this stuff for a long time.
Right.
Really. Like the pushback that I've gotten, the antibodies that come out anytime you mention either of these things, Flynn and Russia, showed me firsthand exactly how this shit works. Yeah. And exactly why so many of these people are fucking terrified to talk about any of it.
Yeah.
Because they get pilloried. When the reality is that what's going on here is that every single one of the people who are getting rolled up right now are connected to Flynn. And every one of them are connected to Russia. Rudy Giuliani, as you recall, was in fucking Ukraine trying to corrupt Zelensky so that Zelensky would allow him to use Ukrainian propaganda to fucking hit Joe Biden.
Right? And
just go back to the impeachment.
Who paid for Giuliani to run around? Do you remember?
Dmitry Firtash.
Dmitry Firtash.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And we're and we're talking about Malofeev as well. We're talking about some of the little Putin's like top guys, like the guys that fucking Putin uses are the dudes that Rudy was using, the people that Trump was talking to in open air, if you recall, on speakerphone, right? You remember that shit? Like the whole thing is Russian infiltration, and all of it is connected to Flynn, who is the one who is organizing all of it. And until we can like drop the blinders, it's just gonna be hard for people to make fucking sense out of it,
Right. I am I'm hopeful, Jim, that everything is going to scale up and that it is going to become that counterintelligence investigation that we know that we needed. And but we are watching the process, and the process is unfolding in real time. I am trying to find, and maybe I'll just tweet them out. A friend of ours did some anagrams for us, and I could either write it on a piece of paper or just tell you guys what it is. I think I'll
We'll
just
put
tell
you
you
in the
guys.
big. Nope. Write it
You don't
down.
need
We're
to-
going to put you in the big box.
You don't need to put me in the big box. No, I'm more than happy to. I'm more than happy to.
I don't want to be.
share the-
Well, I don't want to be in the big box. Thank you.
All right, we're done with the big box.
Yeah.
Fine.
Okay.
I just, thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I actually want you to go back in the big box and talk about the story of Jane. That was an incredible piece that you did and very freaking eloquent. But let's do a palate cleanser. So just visualize the anagrams and the letters. Visualize Michael T. Flynn. Okay, can everybody visualize that?
Michael
All
T.
right.
Flynn.
Okay.
Is MILF in there?
No.
Probably. So better than MILF. Better than MILF. You're hilarious. No, our friend did this for us, and it turned into filthy Klan men. Filthy Klan men.
Well,
Boom.
that's appropriate.
Boom, boom, boom.
Michael T. Flynn. Filthy
You
Klan.
sure it
Filthy.
wasn't filthy MILFs? Sorry.
No.
That's
By the
just
way,
that's your imagination.
By the way, I would just like to remind our audience about Michael Flynn's affair with the what was she, the Russian or Ukrainian MILF? I forget. There was a red
Oh.
sparrow involved.
Oh, you
Yeah,
mean it?
all
Yeah,
right.
in 2014.
Well,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's very litigious, so I should speak her name right now.
I just remember there was something going on with
yes, she's one of them, and she had a very, very fine set of conversations with Flinney in 13 and 14 after he visited the GRU. He was the first American to ever visit GRU headquarters in 2014.
Wow.
And then he met Red Sparrow, and Red Sparrow was the one that he signed his name General Misha to.
Wow.
So,
well,
and that was wow.
Again.
Let me be clear about one more thing. Wow, Putin was invading Crimea while Flynn was director of the DIA and said nothing about it at all until all of a sudden Crimea was gone, and Flynn was like, "Ooh, was I supposed to say something about that?" And then they fired him. And then he hooked up with Trump, and Bob's your uncle. He is the worst traitor in American history. Thank you for coming to my other TED Talk.
And this is where we say.
I like the second one better.
And this is where we say, arrest Mike Flynn.
Arrest
I have another anagram that I want to share with our viewers, and then we're going to make the viewers do some work. Okay,
good.
So, here it goes. Roger Stone. Okay.
Is tune one of the words? I want it to be tune.
Everybody got it? Roger Stone.
Roger Stone. Yeah,
this
Roger
is very,
Stone, anagrams too.
This is very prescient right here. Regret soon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah,
boy.
now.
Yeah, boy.
Now, counterpoint.
What?
That's been the case for 50 fucking years. Literally. Roger Stone has been rat fucking for the Russians for 50 years. 50 fucking years since Nixon. And he's not going to fucking jail yet. He got fucking dropped. He got pardoned. He got all this fucking shit. He was guilty, all of it. And then he got fuck these people. They get away with it every goddamn time. And until I see some perp walks of these people, Flynn and Roger, I am not going to fucking rest a single day. When that day happens, I will have a nice nap.
Well, he's a cat who has had a lot of lives. You will recall that he was listed on that warrant, the records as it pertains to the clemency of Roger Jason Stone Jr. I believe there is pardon fraud. We're going to find out, right? He collects souls and dirty secrets of others, and that is his staying power. Okay, so now.
Ooh. Hold on. Want to hear my favorite Roger Stone joke?
Oh no, we've heard it before. No,
he's got a rotten die in jail.
All right, but I'm
That's
fine.
a good one. I like that one. Can I steal that one? I like it.
Hey, so I do want to give our very smart viewers a task. Our friend who did these anagrams for us, because he misses Sean, as do we. He's still on his excellent summer vacation here. He came up with one of these rat fuckers that we talk about on the show all the time. He came up with the anagram spelling, I do legislators. I do legislators, but he can't remember which one it was. So if our friends can reverse engineer that one, so let's think about it. We talk about Steve Bannon, we talk about Eric Prince, we talk about, Paul Manafort.
Let's talk about, who was it? Was it Schumer or Grassley? 87,000 IRS agents armed with AR-15s coming for mom and pop.
It's probably not Schumer.
What?
Let's not. No, he said.
What?
Let's not and say we didn't, because you understand that this is how this propaganda works. This is exactly
It's a
how
lie.
it works.
Of course, it's a lie.
We know that, but right now we are living in a time of some sort of mass psychoses where people are willing to believe these lies as long as it's coming from their team.
Yeah, but I think it's okay to say, hey, you know that whole thing about the fucking IRS agents and the guns?
Yeah.
Like, nah.
Yeah, not true.
And by the way, good. By the way, good. Here's the thing. There's so many billions and billions and billions and billions of fucking dollars that these people steal from us. We need people on the ground who are going to fucking go after them. And here's the thing. These assholes are trying to scare these IRS agents. That's what's happening. This is intimidation. Like what they're doing with the FBI, they're going to try and do it with IRS agents.
And it's the school board thing, and it's the CRT, and it's all part of the same thing. Whatever rates in the 18 to 49 demo. It's really. So I actually just thought of something very cool that you guys could probably do off the top of your stony brains. We should do our own version of like a true or false. Just like right now, like. Something that's in
truth
the
or dare.
No.
We're gonna play truth or dare on live YouTube.
No. What I'm thinking is like let's think about something that's in the propaganda stream and just immediately be like, yeah, this is false. There's got to be like, Hi-Fi, you were giving me a news rundown today. What anything from Molly that we can report on, some kind of BS?
Oh, here's a good one. Yeah, this is a good one.
Wait. Johnny made a good joke. He said this game is called Truth or Dare.
Truth or Dare. All right. Here's one for you.
Truth or Dare? Oh, thank you. Tell him thank you. We'll have that segment, when we get our.
Yeah, we're gonna make T-shirts out of that, Johnny. That's good.
Truth or Dare. Oh no, that is so freaking brilliant. I love you, man. I don't know who you are, but I love you. Okay, so what were you going to say?
And Truth or Dare. All right.
Truth or Dare. So, and you're talking about Truth or Dare.
Yes.
Yeah, we're playing Truth or Dare.
So, the reigning junta in Mali has claimed that the French government is arming Islamic militants, which the French army has been fighting for the last 10 to 15 years.
So what you're saying is it's false, right?
False.
Russian propaganda.
What we do know is that Evgeny Prigozhin's Wagner has deployed to Mali and has possibly been associated with massacres along the, I forget which country, Mauritania, I believe, the Mauritanian border.
And who softened it up?
Eric Prince.
Eric
Yeah.
fucking Prince.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So I do want to talk about something that I find very distressing. There's been pictures of Navalny in the recent days. He has that 1,000-yard stare that you see when you look at people who've been incarcerated in various wars. He's looking, undernourished. And his face looks different, which would indicate to me possible, torture. I don't know that. I'm just saying what it looks like. And of course, he's in, solitary, which Russia style means, in his case, he said there's no air and it's really hot. And the other option is it's super cold or damp. But right now it's hot and no air. So, I hope everybody's really happy with the oil and, the gas they get from Russia. But, I don't know. I honestly don't know how a war criminal running a mafia state who's thieved for 20 years plus from his citizens is allowed to continue being above ground. I just don't get it,
I think it's because the Russian people have finally gotten so weak that they'll let a madman rule them. I expected a new Russian strongman to take the reins by this point in time. I mean, Putin is frail. He's on his back foot. All he can do is lie his butt off. His army is being chewed up in Ukraine. Now you have explosions in Crimea. Russian hardware is getting hit now.
You have Prigozhin going to prisons looking for sociopaths to continue the fight.
Look,
you have old men being recruited because the young ones are either dead or don't want to fight.
Here's the thing. We're talking about a totalist. He's not going to stop. He is not going to back away from anything. What he's going to do is empty his stockpiles of stuff. And I know there are people who still aren't sure about this, but all this bio shit that's popping up all over the place, 15,000 people in the United States with monkeypox, fucking,
that's not normal.
We are being attacked in many different ways, and I'm here to tell you that's not going to stop. He does have to get taken out eventually. We'll figure it out eventually. I just hope the nukes don't come and the smallpox and whatever the fuck else he plans. Because the thing that I do is monitor what they say. What they say that we're going to do is what they are going to do.
Yeah.
And what they are saying right now on Ann Vandersteel's show and on these Russian propaganda networks is that what is going to happen is that the Democrats and the communists are going to attack the 2022 elections with bioweapons.
Yeah.
That we're going to attack it with the dirty bomb. That we're going to attack it with all of this stuff. And that's not good. That's not good because it means that they are at a minimum thinking about doing those things themselves and are trying to set the pretext to make sure they don't get blamed for it.
Right.
By the way, since we're talking about vulnerabilities in elections, it has now come out in Georgia. We got Arizona, Michigan. I mean, we have numerous cases in which GOP officials have taken complete images of hard drives containing voting machine software. This is a massive vulnerability. If you have the code base, the entire code base of an application, this makes it so much easier to hack because you can dig through it. This is a terrible vulnerability, and I really hope, like people like Chris Krebs need to really be sounding the alarm on this, right? This is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got my issues with Chris Krebs. He tends to downplay a lot of things that he shouldn't. But whatever, we need as many people looking at these elections as possible. The real problem is that, you know, they have spent the last 2 years infiltrating the election system every which way you possibly can. All, like, every fucking vacancy on any election board anywhere in the country, and that was thousands and thousands of vacancies, because no one gave a shit, right? It was some little old ladies who were sitting behind a fucking table, right? That was your election board or whatever, and people volunteered, and it was fucking American. And
Yeah.
now the
I'm
people
one
who
of
are
them.
sitting at the fucking table want to steal your vote.
Yeah.
Literally, they are there to steal your vote intentionally and by order. They are told do everything in your power to make sure that, you know, the election integrity that gets our people in is you know, sustained. It's horrifying, and I don't think we have come anywhere close to understanding how bad it is going to be.
We have not.
Yep.
I do want to say something very interesting is I've been talking to people that I know who organically have always been on the far left of the spectrum. They are seeing the work of Joe Biden and calling me one at a time to say, you know, you were right. You were right. You were right. And now, like, I'm still center left, but I am down with the Democrats. And so I think that people who are not psyoped, who are not watching propaganda, who were your garden variety, side of the people, left progressive, are actually looking at the work that's being done on behalf of democracy and actually seeing that work is being done on behalf of democracy. And that is very good for us. But what that also means, back to Hi-Fi's original point, is that means that the war and the battles will escalate and continue to escalate. And we must see them for what they are, and we must stay calm. We have not uttered a word about Dick Cheney's kid. Jim?
I mean, I just want to say about that, like, I think it is difficult to be a casual nihilist anymore, right? There were a lot of those in 2016, right? But now that they've actually taken away women's autonomy, where some of these fucking people who are like, you know, just want to see it all burn, and the fucking Democrats and the Republicans are all the same. All of a sudden, they're grown up a little bit. They have kids, and now their kids are going to grow up in Gilead, and they're like, Jesus. I think there is a certain amount of buyer's remorse with some of these black pill morons who are like realizing, no, you're playing with fucking Hitler right now. You are playing with, it's not fire, it is nuclear war. You cannot fuck with this. You cannot play ball with it. You can't be on both sides of it. It's not fucking funny. There's nothing ironic. There's nothing about this other than good and evil. And which side the fuck are you on right now? Because there are people who are trying to take the rights of your children away. Is that what you want? If not, then fucking knock it off and get on the right side of history. Thank you for coming to my third TED Talk.
I still like the second one better.
From the moment you started, I was just letting the words wash over me. And I got to say, I love being on this show with you guys, and I love the support. I can throw out something. We don't talk about stuff beforehand. You know, this is an organic just conversation. And just to get so supported and to get such insights is incredible. You're so right. There's no room for casual nihilism anymore. You're absolutely right. We've come too far. So how I'm viewing things now, gentlemen, the framework in my mind is I feel like we're in that part of a Steven Spielberg or whoever your favorite, adventure director is. And I'm literally like freaking white knuckling it, holding my seat because we're about to go off the edge. And are we going to be saved in the last seconds or not? I feel like we're at that cliffhanger for democracy right now. We are seeing so much action, but we're also seeing how dangerous these horrible, horrible people are. And so, which way are we going to go? Is there?
I mean, we took a fucking seat at the table. We fucking I gotta say, if 3 months ago, if somebody had presented this set of circumstances to me on a silver platter and said, "Well, do you want what's really going to happen, or do you want this?" I'd have been like, "Door number one, I want that. That sounds great. That's way beyond what I hoped for." So there is good news, but listen. With these big moves is going to come big reaction, right? Every force has an equal and opposite reaction, right? So yeah, this is all fucking awesome. But we knew this, right? We've been talking about this for a while.
Yeah.
That we're past the point where we're going to be able to get out of this without serious disruption.
That's right.
But if we can keep the rule of law. And again, like Mike Flynn's now going after the rule of law.
Yeah.
If we can keep that, we'll be okay.
I think that's everything. And that has always been my hope, that we are a country of laws. We're still a country of laws. And because I surrounded myself with lawyers at the very beginning of this, people who knew, I knew it was going to be a long haul. And I believed that this was going to be the process. And then Hi-Fi told me this is how it was going to go down. And Hi-Fi, you so far right, Hi-Fi. Oh, gentlemen.
I may be a goofball, but I'm a hell of a good futurist. I can see how things play out.
There's the t-shirt.
No, don't make me tell my Hi-Fi joke. I'll do it.
Go ahead, tell it.
I was just commenting on Hi-Fi's new coif, right? He used to be a long, it felt very long this way. It would go down here. And what I said was that he looks less like Gandalf and more like Bilbo. and I love Bilbo. I grew up with Bilbo. So Don't be insulted. Bilbo is a hero. He saved Gryffindor or whatever the fuck it was.
At which point I chimed in that I read the source material in 4th grade and had no need to watch the films.
I just wanted to blow up some Tolkien heads.
Yeah.
We know what you did. Sneaky ass.
We made that joke especially to piss off Peter Thiel.
Oh yes, yeah, because he named all his shit after Tolkien stuff.
The lizard. So I do want to talk to people about the Soviet era information war concept of the 4 Ds. I call it the 5 Ds because I add despair. Dismiss, distort, distract, dismay, and despair. Anything, when you're going about your day and you're victoriously posting about something terrible happening to the corrupt members of the 5th column in America, and somebody comes at you with something that's dismissive or a distortion of what you said, some kind of distraction, or all of a sudden you feel despair and dismay, no, that's just part of how it goes down. Regroup, look at the truth. If you have to, make a list of all the real court cases and all the real things that are happening right now, and just know that we have reasons to be reasons to be a bit optimistic about some of the things that are occurring within the fact that this is a cliffhanger fight for democracy.
Vanity Fair actually had a really good piece recently about here's the complete list of all the ways Trump is screwed, like from Georgia to New York to the FBI thing. I mean, just everything. It was this huge list. It was a great read.
Well, as you have seen already, You've already seen like that Russian propagandist Alex Jones already talking about Ron DeSantis. You're seeing all these people milk the last of what they can get out of Trump before they move on to Ron DeSantis. So the fight will shift, the avatar will change, but the war will remain the same. This is a war for truth against massive global corruption. And because we are proving to still be a country of laws, we may actually see our way out of it. Again, we're on that cliff, cars tilting, which way it's going to go. I hope everybody collectively comes together and stops warring at each other and has conversations and starts pulling us back from that edge. We can do that collectively. So,
I mean,
except the ones, except the ones that are there to do it professionally. Just block those.
Oh yeah,
you can't have
not
conversations
the
with them.
pros.
No, I know that, but I'm saying like what?
I know you do. I'm not.
People in your
not,
community. People in your community.
Just to build,
take
Heidi,
some
not
food.
dismissing your point.
Yeah, just
When's the last time
that caveat is correct.
When's the last time you took a plate of cookies to your Trumpy neighbor and said, "Man, things are looking kind of crazy right now. How you doing?"
Yesterday.
Well, that's you. I mean, you're an angel, right? I'm talking average person.
It's a true story. Yesterday.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, you can even skip the things are kind of crazy right now. How you doing? That's the important part.
Yeah. How are you doing?
Not to. I mean, because you can, but as soon as you introduce a topic that you might disagree about, like for example, why is things so crazy? You know, the first thing to do is just show up with the cookies. It's the best idea ever. Fucking hey, here's some cookies. How are you?
Plus,
been a while.
Yeah. Plus, it's August, so before you know it, it's going to be October and November, which means cold weather. So you got to get your extra padding on now before the cold gets you. Think ahead, people. Cookies are good for that.
Oh, cookies. I thought maybe you were going to roll into like bulletproof vests or something. I was like, this sounds like it might get dark.
I live in Ohio, dude. It gets cold here. You gotta have insulation.
Okay. What does your shirt say, Hi-Fi? I just adore him.
I made this in 2020 during the pandemic.
Okay, good enough.
And I used to wear it.
I'm picturing it rolling up like Star Wars: A New Hope. You know? Stay the fuck away from me. High fidelity.
So our friends, that is our show, and I got something out of it. I hope you did too. Let's give the last line to Ruth Ben-Ghiat. Her latest Substack title is "For strong men like Trump, everything is for sale and everything has a price." And my hope is that he did one deal too many, and that we see our perp walk or three.